So, guys, victory is for the just, not for the unjust. Finally, Nnamdi Kanu has been declared winner. Welcome to this YouTube channel. In case you are new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe bell below because in this channel, I bring you everything trending and everything you need to know about Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafra movements. Well, finally, Nnamdi Kanu has been declared winner. You know, whenever we say that Nnamdi Kanu is innocent, many people take it for granted. And as we all know, Nnamdi Kanu has been fighting for a just cause. And today, the Biafra and Nnamdi Kanu has gotten victory. Because victory for one is victory for all. Before heading to the declaration of Nnamdi Kanu's victory today, there is a brief video I want to play for you. Watch this video, and after watching it, we are going to be back with the full transcripts and with the full declaration of what the courts declared on Nnamdi Kanu.
Even in detention, Nnamdi Kanu is more powerful than the Nigerian president. Tinubu, who is him to speak when Nnamdi Kanu is talking? Who is he? How many times have he appeared in court to challenge the man one-on-one? All of the Nigerian presidents, all of them, none of them stand with him. None of them can stand. We are talking fact and reality. None of them have evidence. None of them have proof.
Indeed, none of them have proof. And in today's video, you are going to be watching the court declaration of how Nnamdi Kanu was declared winner. You know, victory has always been for Nnamdi Kanu, and if you have been following this court trial, you will know that Nnamdi Kanu is being illegally tried. Because to start with, the federal government doesn't even have the right to try him in the Nigerian courts because he was arrested in Kenya illegally. Without wasting much of your time, this is what Sarah reporters had to report today. According to them, breaking news. Kenyan courts declares Nnamdi Kanu's abduction and rendition to Nigeria illegal. Awards 120 million in damages. This was a report that was released at 10:33 a.m. today, being the 27th of June 2025. And without wasting much of your time, let's go straight to the content of how the courts declared Nnamdi Kanu winner in this particular case. For clarity's sake, and in order to carry everyone along, I'll be putting up the writings of the rulings here so everyone can follow and know what actually happened in the Kenyan courts and how the Kenyan courts declared Nnamdi Kanu winner. Now I read, a high court in Nairobi, Kenya, has ruled that the abduction and detention of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya and his subsequent rendition in Nigeria in June 2021 were unlawful and illegal. Now, if you have been following this particular case, you know that Nnamdi Kanu was illegally arrested in Kenya and sent back to Nigeria in June 2021. Let's continue. Delivering the judgments, Justice E.C. Nwita held that the actions of both the Kenyan and Nigerian governments amounted to gross violations of Kanu's fundamental human rights, as protected by their respective constitutions. Justice E.C. Nwita said, having considered the pleadings and arguments by parties, the decisions relied on the Constitution and the law. I come to the following conclusions. This particular quote is the judge telling us the conclusions he came with, and let's read it out. First, the government of Kenya violated the Constitution and Mr. Nnamdi Kanu's rights and fundamental freedoms. This is the judge listing out that the government of Kenya violated Nnamdi Kanu's rights and fundamental freedom. We continue. Having entered Kenya lawfully, he was subject to the protection offered by the Constitution of Kenya 2010, and the government of Kenya had an obligation to uphold and protect his rights and fundamental freedoms. Mr. Nnamdi was, however, abducted, kept in solitude and confinement, tortured, and denied food and medication, a breach of basic rights. He was chained, humiliated, ridiculed, and held in contempt, and later forcibly removed from Kenya without following the law, in violation of his rights and fundamental freedoms, for which the government of Kenya is liable. This is the judge stating clearly that Kenya itself failed to protect Nnamdi Kanu, and these were the conclusions of the judge towards the trial of Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria, saying that Nnamdi Kanu's rendition was illegal and against his own human rights. Let's continue. Based on the above conclusions, the court makes the following declarations and orders it considers appropriate. A declaration is hereby issued that the abduction of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, holding him in incommunicado confinement, torturing him and denying him food, water, medication, and other basic necessities, was a violation of his rights and fundamental freedoms. A declaration is hereby issued that the abduction and subsequent forcible removal of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria was in violation of the laws of Kenya. His rights and fundamental freedoms, including freedom of movement and security of the person guaranteed by the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, and therefore unconstitutional and illegal. An order for compensation is hereby issued awarding Mr. Nnamdi Kanu general damages of 10 million Kenyan shillings, which in conversion to Nigerian currency, it amounts to almost 120 million naira, against the Attorney General of Kenya on behalf of the government of Kenya for the violation of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu's constitutional rights and fundamental freedoms. Well, you can clearly see that Nnamdi Kanu is winning, and this particular declaration from the Kenyan courts shows that everything being done in Nigeria by Justice Omotosho and the rest is null and void, because they have now made a declaration that the sum of 120 million naira will be awarded to Nnamdi Kanu for damages because his fundamental human rights was abused. Well, at this point, I'll allow you to think what you feel in the comment section below, and there will be a part 2 to this particular story and this particular news today, because the part 2 is coming. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, do well to hit the subscribe button, because the part 2 of this will contain the full transcript of what the courts said and how everything will be done. See you in my next video updates. Bye.